Today I'm gonna give you a brief history of how the Wishbone was snapped. And all that's coming up after the bumper.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If you're new to my channel or this is your first time here, consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. So today, I want to talk about the Wishbone, and in particular, how Jimmy Johnson demonstrated in 3 games just how to attack the Wishbone, and how his Miami Hurricanes took apart some of the best Oklahoma Sooners football teams ever. So we got to start back in 1970, when Barry Switzer installed the Wishbone during an open week, during a bye week. And at the same moment that he installed it, Jimmy Johnson immediately started thinking about how to take it apart. For those that don't know, Switzer was the offensive coordinator at Oklahoma in 1970 when he first installed the Wishbone, and it wasn't like it was a grand success right away. Sooners got beat by Texas 41-9. And 18 years later, in January of 1988, more than a few people, myself included, believe Jimmy Johnson finally snapped it. And he knows he had an advantage. Jimmy Johnson's Miami Hurricanes beat Switzer's Sooners 20-14 in the 1987 national title game. Jimmy Johnson's defense held an Oklahoma Sooners offense that averaged 43.5 points per game and 500 yards of total offense a game. In that national title game against the Hurricanes, the Sooners managed just 255 yards on 66 plays. As a matter of fact, OU's longest play from scrimmage during that game was a fumble-rooski that offensive guard Mark Hudson ran into the end zone with 2:05 left in the game. Now, the reason that this is a monster deal is this marks the 3rd straight time that the Hurricanes had beaten Switzer's Sooners. And if you get rid of the 3 losses that Oklahoma suffered to the Hurricanes in the 80s, you'd come to this fact. Switzer and his Sooners went 33-0 when they didn't play Miami. To add insult to injury, Oklahoma was riding a 20-game winning streak and was seeking its 7th national title since 1950. Now, we all know that the Sooners wouldn't get that national title until 2000 when a second-year coach named Bob Stoops adopted the air raid and installed a junior college transfer quarterback named Josh Heupel to run it. But I found some quotes from Switzer and some Miami players about whether or not Switzer believes Jimmy Johnson's Miami broke the Wishbone. But for his part, Barry Switzer does not believe Jimmy Johnson broke the Wishbone. He says, nah, he didn't kill it. The Wishbone still worked, it's just that his players were able to handle it. They handled everything. Let's put it this way, they killed a lot of offenses. They shut down a lot of people. And it wasn't like that Miami defense was a bunch of chumps. We're talking about Bennie Blades. We're talking about Jerome Brown. We're talking about Winston Moss, Bill Hawkins, Randy Shannon. And Bennie Blades believes that his team took the Wishbone apart. We had a match for the Wishbone, Blades said. You need a lot of team speed, but the Wishbone was based on teams not protecting their territory. If you weren't disciplined in stopping the first fullback, then the quarterback and the 2 options that he had, you were going to get beat 63-0. We just basically built a line at 8 yards, and with the speed we had on defense, took away the first 2 options. Hey, I was right there. I think one game I had 10 tackles, another I had 16 tackles. We just beat them to the punch most of the time. I knew how to defend it, and we had good enough players that we could have defended any solid offense. Having great talent, plus understanding how to defend the Wishbone, we shut it down completely. He ain't wrong either. Now, you know that Switzer resigned in 1989. But had he stayed on, Switzer's on record as saying he would have eventually adopted the I formation and ran a similar option attack to the one that Tom Osborne ran in Nebraska through the 90s. You know that Nebraska team that won 3 national titles in a 4-year span? But the kicker for me is Jimmy Johnson went winless against the Sooners as the head coach at Oklahoma State going 0-5. Which means this. It's not the system that beat the Wishbone. It's never going to be any system that beats any offense or any defense. It's players. And even Barry Switzer would cop to that. Alright, if you like the videos, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you tomorrow. Deuces.